Alright guys, we just rolled into my buddy John's place in Acushnet, and he's agreed to give us a tour of his wheel polishing machine. And he owns Acushnet Wheel Polishing in Acushnet, Mass. Say hello to the YouTube people.
What's up, guys?
So, that is my old dirty ass rim that he just did for me. Thing is like freaking glass. Look at that. It was like black, nasty shit. Road tar, pavement. You know, like, look at my hand. Like a mirror. This thing had all kinds of shit wrong with it. And then he was telling me, you milled it first?
I milled it through the machine, with the VIS polishing machine. Takes a little layer off with the sanding flappers.
So, and then, so that's like what it looks like, right?
That's how it comes out of the machine, after it's been milled a little bit.
Oh, nice. So it goes inside there.
And these are the flappers that actually mills some of them. Takes a little bit, small layer off the rim, the aluminum rim.
Oh, no shit.
And it comes in different grits.
No kidding. So like that's probably what that one is a sister to?
Yeah.
So you see like all this dirtiness, and they got pits and stuff, and you know like holes in them. He'll put it in here, and then so that's what it looks like after he mills it with that flap disc inside there. And then it looks like you've been busy, huh?
Yes, sir. And this is the end result.
And that is same set of wheels, probably off the same truck, right?
Yes. These are set. These part of that set right there.
Look at that. No kidding.
By actually milling it, I could tell if the wheel is cracked.
Yeah.
I found one here that was cracked. I usually tell the customer, mark it cracked, no good, and I let the customer know.
So that's usually why you like to mill it first?
Yeah.
So you can find the cracks and stuff. So this room's junk. No kidding. See, that's pretty slick. I see you got way. I see you got more out there too.
Yeah.
Busy. But so after you put that in there and that mills that, that's pretty much kind of like the same setup as.
That's the first process. I run it through the VIS machine. I sand it, mill it, do whatever I got to do. Get it prepped, get it into the box, and then I put some heat on it because obviously New England is cold. The compound does not melt, so I usually put some heat on it and then run it through my Viking machine, which is the hand polishing machine that allows me to put as much pressure as I want on the rim to burn the polish in there.
Okay, so you put heat on the rim, so the polish compound will burn off and kind of
melt. I actually make some of my own, but what you do is you by putting heat on it, it actually allows the compound to melt.
Like wax, maybe.
Yeah, like wax, and it just burns right into the rim. It melts into the rim, and then allows you to evenly work with it, because otherwise, if it's too cold, the compound will not.
Right.
Melt. All it does is turn gray. You can never get it to, as you can feel this rim right now, which is your rim.
This is my other rim, right? Yeah.
This is ready to be polished.
Nice. Oh, it's warm.
I got it at about 100 degrees right now.
Yeah, that's really real warm.
Which is what, by milling it creates heat. The aluminum, when you're milling the aluminum and sanding it, creates heat. The heat, you use that heat to also. To polish it. And what happens is when you polish it, it burns right into it helps it melt right into the rim.
Right.
The hotter the rim, the better the polish.
Yeah, it is nice and warm. So so you can do this all year round as long as you heat it up.
As long as you have heat. This is why a lot of guys don't polish outside. And in the wintertime, in the fall, the guys stop polishing. They don't polish. And the minute the heat warms up,
yeah,
they stop polishing tanks and aluminum rims.
See, I was polishing by hand, but like when I had talked to you before, you said you'll never get it you'll never get it the same as this machine.
You know, and you'll see how much pressure it takes for me to burn that actual compound into the rim.
Right.
Get it to get all the residue off.
See, these are my spares. I was having trouble with the ones that are on the truck, so I'm gonna change the valve stems. But I had talked to you about. I'm gonna do these, and then I'm gonna take the ones off the truck and have you do those too. But like before, when we had talked about me doing it by hand, I would have to do it like non-stop. But you doing it with this, I only have to touch up for a while.
Yeah, and later on I could show you how easy it is to just bring them back.
So like the way I understand it is, because you're doing it with the machine, and it's like you said before, burning the metal.
Yes. You're burning the metal. You're making that almost like chrome. You know, you're burning that finish in there, and that finish will stay in there as long as you want it to stay, and that takes very little effort. Like I told you, with a little bit of aluminum compound cleaner, just put it on, wipe it off. It's simple maintenance. A lot of guys, let it go too long, and that's how you get all the pitting. And then to try to get it back, the only way to do it is you got to cut it. By cutting it, you got to have a cut pad and a cutting bar, which is, a high grit. It's a high grit compound.
Yeah, the brown
one. That's the only way to get rid of all the pitting and everything to try to bring it back. But if you don't let it go that far, you can maintain it that way, just by a simple wipe on, wipe off aluminum polish.
Right. So I would just be having to hand rub these things
yes, and
a few times a week just to maintain them.
I can show you, actually, one of my trucks, I've done mine a year ago. I'll go out there and within 2 seconds I can show you. I can bring them back in like 5 minutes.
Just because the finish has been burnt?
Yes.
All right, cool.
basically you're taking all the rough stuff off. It's like
so that'd be like your first step?
Yeah. That's what the Red Bar Rouge.
Yep.
You know, this stuff's a little different than the stuff you buy over the counter. This is industrial stuff. But
yeah, I only usually get like the cheap whatever's at your local truck place.
Yeah, so now what I do is I change the pads to a finer pad and just pretty much put a higher gloss shine on it. And all that is the compound's a little higher on the compound grit.
So I noticed you're putting some force on this this bar here. So you really lean on it, huh, to burn the finish.
I put a couple 100 pounds of pressure on this thing in order to get that burnt to burn like that.
Man.
That's just the rough stuff that's still got a lot of scratches on it.
See, like that right there would be like something I would take hours by hand to do.
Yeah, and it took me a couple minutes.
Yeah, it would take me all, you know, like what, like half a day to do that by hand.
You'll actually be able to see right now as I'm putting it with a white bar, the finish, the finish bar. You'll be able to see the difference as I'm putting it on. I'll get rid of a lot of those scratches and imperfections.
Now I should mention that these rims are original 1986. That's the year of the truck.
So they come out pretty good. They're pretty nice.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do the other ones now.
Yep. Seems to work for me, so there you go, my friend.
That's awesome. For a 1986 dirty wheel.
There's the we'll bring it out in the light so you can see it. You know how it is, it always speaks different. And that is...
Look at that.
And that's a quick finish that I just put on there.
Alright, so when I brought these up here, the whole wheel was like this, like, because it was in my storage container. You know, like this, and 10 years of sitting there, and I was stacking tires on them and everything, and they were just black and nasty. But that's amazing. It looks like brand new. Now, oh yeah, this is an Alcoa original. Now, you were telling me something about the stickers for the Alcoas.
Yeah.
A lot of guys have problem dealing with.
A lot of guys that don't know how to refinish or do away with the sticker. Simple way to get, especially these stickers here. Right here, when you're refinishing a wheel like that, and you see a sticker like that, it's not that hard to scrape it off or grind it off with the high grit sandpaper, and then smooth it out to the point that you don't see it. A lot of guys will just put something over it or cover it or whatever.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before. I've seen somebody else put their logo, like a big sticker of their own logo. But
it's very simple. You can either grind it off with high grit sandpaper and then smooth it out with 320, 220, and they'll actually smooth with the aluminum to the point you won't even see that. I mean, obviously, if the rim is an older rim and it's oxidized, you'll still see a little bit of it, but it's how much work you want to put into it and sand it and grind it to get it to the point that it'll be nice and smooth.
Right, because I've always, you know, when I've gone to work for other companies, you know, and you're trying to clean up the boss's truck a little bit, and they have that stock Alcoa sticker on there. Yeah. I always hated that.
Yes, and if you go to try to buff that over that, it's just gonna smear, smudge, and it's gonna be a mess.
Yeah, I've done that with the glue.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't matter how new the rim is. You're better off scraping it off, goof off the excess glue, and either smooth it out with high grit sandpaper and then polish it. And it's that simple. It's not, you know, a lot of guys have a problem with that.
Yeah. And
it's a little secret.
So now your main business, you have trucks, and you've had a lot of trucks since I've met you. So yes. You're not just some guy out here polishing wheels. You are a trucker.
Yes, I am a trucker. I know what it's like to clean wheels, and if we go out back, I'm going to show you real quick how to.
Yeah, so like this is where I met you, from fueling up the equipment at, you know, at places that I've worked. This is his business, Miami Heat Oil and diesel, but he's always fueled me up with diesel. He comes out and fuels up the machines when I'd be working. So, you know, this one here, this is the workhorse, huh?
Yeah.
This one's always been working.
I do a lot of work with that truck.
That thing doesn't see much downtime.
So here's some wheels I've done a while ago, and I'll show you. These are wheels that have been, you know, obviously rain, oxidized or whatever, and you pretty much just put the wax on. I mean the polish. I use this stuff. I have good luck with this stuff.
Oh, Renegade.
I love this stuff here, and it's simple, just simple. Wipe on, wipe off. It's that simple to maintain it.
And we've had a lot of rain lately.
Yeah, so you get a lot of oxidation, especially coming up. You get all that salt and all that stuff that they use on the roads.
Yeah,
it's that simple.
I don't even think my truck's gonna see the winter this winter.
No? Well, maybe you're one of the lucky ones, because there's a lot of guys that are gonna be home trying to do what they can to make some money.
Yeah.
But as you can see, the minute it gets
yeah, it's almost like it dried a little.
Yeah, that's it, and just wipe off, and it's that simple. And it comes right back, and they stay like that as long as you want it.
Yeah, see, that's what I want, because my problem is I'll do like a hand polish, and then it don't seem to last.
Yeah, well, that's where that little trick I showed you kind of gave it away by putting the heat on it.
Yeah.
By putting the heat on it, you're actually burning the compound right into the rim. You're not working with a cold rim. Compound burns right into it, and it leaves that finish on there, see? And it stays like that as long as you want it. I mean, you could go crazy, obviously clean it, you know?
Yeah, for me it's not. See, that's nice. For me it's not worth it, because I figure, you know, with the prices that you have on doing the wheel, which I guess it depends on what the wheel looks like.
Right.
But the I found that it's not worth my time. Yeah. To be honest with you, it really isn't. I have so much better stuff that I could be doing. It would take me hours to do that. It was really what am I trying to say here? It makes way more sense to just drop them off and have that done to them, because I'll spend all day trying to do that and it still just doesn't look like that.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's that simple. Like I just showed you, it took minutes. Once it's burnt onto the rim, I got to run it through both machines to get to look like that first.
Yeah.
If you don't have that kind of a smooth finish, you're never gonna clean them up that easy.
Yeah, that's my problem. My finish is not smooth, so I'll spend all day hand polish.
It just turns gray.
It
all
turns.
you're doing is you're pretty much rubbing aluminum all over the rim, all over again.
Yeah, and the other thing I noticed too is, I end up with everything stuck in the pits.
Yeah, you'll never get it off, and this is why the machine, when you're burning it, when I put as much force as I can into it, I'm getting all that residue out of the pitting, or whatever little pitting, which is very little that's left after I mill it through the machine.
Yeah, yeah. See, that's why I pretty much.
This is why the finish, if you can see right here, it's almost like a brand new rim. It is smooth. See, look at, I mean, like just hit it with a dirty rag, but it is a smooth lip. You see that?
Yeah, that was my problem. Is I was polishing it, but it wasn't smooth, so everything was staying in the pits.
And that's where a lot of the prep work comes in: the sanding, the grinding, the sanding. Obviously, the compounds. You got to know the weather.
Yeah, we're going into
the colder the weather, you're not gonna get a nice finish on it. You gotta have heat. You gotta have heat. So.
Now you have a lot of guys in the winter doing them
year round.
all year round.
Yeah, they just drop them off. They don't even tell me. They just text me.
I can see you have a pile of them. Yeah.
Drop it off, and they pretty much let me know. I mark them, and then I'll get to it when I'm not in between delivering fuel.
Yeah.
So it's a nice side.
Ah, yeah. I gotta be honest with you. I really think it's not worth my time to do them by hand anymore.
I treat everybody fair as far as pricing. I don't either, whether it's an $80 wheel or a $100 wheel. The wheel is gonna leave here the same exact way, a refinished, almost new wheel. Obviously, if I gotta break down the tire, it breaks a valve stem, I don't charge any extra. I usually have valve stems, or I put a brand new valve stem on there.
Oh, so if somebody brought you with the tire on it?
Tire on it, I can run it through the machine with the tire on it. All I have to do is take the valve stem on.
Oh.
I break down one side of the tire, take the valve stem, and then I put a brand new valve stem on.
Now you see, that's what started this whole thing off for me, was my valve stem was leaking. So I went into the shed where I keep those old spare rims, and I said maybe one of these spare rims will work out, right? But what ended up happening was I looked at the thing was so dirty and black, and you know I like to keep my stuff clean. I'm like, I can't.
No, you can't put that on.
I can't put it on there, and I'm not gonna get this thing anywhere. So that's when I had messaged you and said, hey,
absolutely.
I think I have to bring you this, and you know what? I'll tell you what. That was a really wise decision. But you want to do my tanks?
See me next year.
Look at that. Super nice. All right, you want to tell everybody your phone number in case?
Absolutely. Acushnet Wheel Polishing, 508-961-7528. I'm John Tavares. Anytime you need anything, just call me, text me, or see my buddy Steve, and I'm here to help anybody.
All right, guys, that's it for this one, and we'll catch you on the next one.